monkey behind the wheel.
Well, you got two yahoos over here in Northwest Iowa that don't know nothing either, so. But we have a lot of fun doing this. That's the main thing.
Yeah, the podcast things have been a lot of fun. I do probably, I don't know, 10 or 15 of them a year, it seems like. And they're always fun.
Yeah, we have.
I only see Stuart Snyder right now. Do I not have him as a friend maybe?
Let's see. Hang on. Let me see if we can just friend you real quick.
Well, as a business page, you can't really friend somebody.
Oh.
So, Stu, maybe if I keep typing in, but it doesn't show it. It just shows Stuart Snyder to invite.
You guys are live right now.
Yep.
We just ain't real organized.
Okay. Well, we'll sign into his.
My email. Pretty 23S, capital K, capital S.
Is it? Oh, that's invite friends to watch. That's not where I want to go either. How do I get?
Aren't you lucky you're going to be the guinea pig for this, Stu?
Hey, it's all right. If you guys figure it out and you can use it down the road, we're glad we can help. I don't understand half of this shit.
Let me see because if we go to our race page.
If you understand half of it, that's way better than me, so.
Unless, can you see it? Can you see if you can tag in? Do you see the Facebook Live?
Yeah, it shows that you're live.
Is there a way that you can tag into ours?
Let me see.
Because I think I actually did that once with the guys up at Huset's, the Jay Major. They were doing a broadcast thing, and I got into their Facebook Live feed somehow.
We're watching now. Will it show you the people that are watching so you can?
Yeah, it shows who's watching. So far, we got Greg
Invite.
Bolte watching.
Try clicking on us and inviting us, maybe.
Yeah, it doesn't show you guys as watching.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's because it's a business or.
Well, because half the time I don't think mine shows anyhow. I see
Well,
my job.
It should be as Stuart Snyder right now because I'm on his personal page.
And then do we stay on the phone to talk, or do we talk through that?
You'll stay on the phone.
Okay.
So what by name?
Kendall.
Kendall?
Yep, I actually met her up there at Huset's.
Oh, really?
Yep, she was running a micro, and I was running 410, and we met, and well, 9, 8, 10 years later, here we are.
Oh, now Snow's watching, bud. He's laughing at you.
What's up, Snow?
See, and I get Snow, I get Aaron Myberg, I get Toby.
Oh, I only got 2 on my phone. See, I don't think that's half time. I don't think even if people ask questions, I don't think my phone shows who's listening. You know, we got such great cell phone reception in this town.
Yeah, I don't have a way to get into it.
She ain't figuring it out either, bud.
Well, I'm going to have to do some maybe more research.
Oh, we
I
got
know
one.
there's a way you can co-live something, I'm sure there is.
Oh, I'm sure there is too. People do it all the time. Just they got to be smarter than me and Bud. But maybe we'll blame Kendall for it because she was supposed to help us out with this. So
Yeah. There we go.
we'll toss the blame somewhere else other than here.
So there's nothing there, like if you hit on us that you can add into ours?
Yeah, normally there is, but for some reason I'm not seeing it. I just tried it on my phone too to make sure.
Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do it old school. They're gonna have to just look at you and me.
Yep. So, oh well. At least we tried.
Yeah.
We'll have to.
to figure it out though, because it's gonna bug us. It's gonna bug her.
We'll have to figure it out somehow, some way.
Oh, there you got the camera on us now, bud.
All right.
You finally
All
got it.
right.
We're gonna give it a whirl now, bud.
We're just gonna go with it. So.
Okay. Well, maybe we
Sorry,
could ask.
nobody's gonna get to see us, Stu.
Well, that's all right. We could ask Snow too and see if he knows how to do it.
I'm not gonna ask Snow anything.
We'd never hear the end of that.
Yeah, how he helped us figure it out.
We'll see if he's got any good advice for us. All he's done so far is say hi.
Yeah. Oh, he said,
Yeah.
"What's up, Stu?" He
What's
said
up,
that.
Stu and Kendall? LOL.
Oh, there
Yeah,
you go.
we got a lot of hey, what's up?
Yeah.
What's up?
So,
But anyways,
why
as
don't you
normal,
read the
before we
sponsors
get
and
started,
then we'll get started
yep, we
recording.
want to do the sponsors. Of course, we got Houston Speedway. Mother's Day is not that far away anymore, bud. We get the opener.
That's right.
We're a little behind the rest of the world, but we're a little further north. So,
Yep.
But anyways, Houston's is coming up. Got my race pass. Almost got to be a necessity to have that if you're a race fan.
Absolutely.
S2F, start to finish, streaming service. Power Eye is the
Watched them last week.
Watched them last week.
That
We
was
got
awesome.
to watch that. I think Port City starts up here right shortly. We get to watch them. Mount Tabor Cabinetry out in Central PA. Chris Fizzle. Get the cabinets built up. Morning Sun Marketplace, another one out in Central PA.
All your flea market items,
All
great
your flea
food,
market, yep.
everything.
3 football field sized buildings, so it's a lot of stuff. Turn 2 Lodge down in Knoxville if you need a place to stay when you're down there. Short block from the track. Fulkins Brothers Trucking is always a good one for us, and also Hero Haven.
All right. And we'll go live here for recording. So much stuff. Hey, Hoagie's Garage, Tobe, and we're back at it.
We're trying.
Survived a blizzard. Thank goodness we didn't get the snow.
Nope, we missed it. It went just a little further east of us and south. The rest of the state's basically shut down.
I think the guy we have on right now, Stuart Snyder, I think he got a lot more, well, maybe a little bit more than what we did, but I think it's way worse down there. But how you doing, Stu?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for having me on. And yeah, I think we got a little more snow, but I think both of us matched the wind tunnel. So
yeah, I'll tell you what, she was a howling last night.
Oh my gosh, it was bad.
The windows were rattling in the old house a little bit, I think. And
I saw some pictures of Humboldt, Iowa. Somebody had some pictures on Facebook there, and I'm willing to guess they got 6 or 8 inches of snow with this wind. There was drifts as high as cars.
Yeah,
I'm glad we don't have that. So it's racing season, right, Stu?
It's almost race season. We've been in the shop for, I don't know, pretty much all winter, and it was really nice. This weekend we rolled some cars out to get the sun on them and cleaned the shop out a little bit, and it was a lot better than it was the last 2 days, I can tell you that.
Well, a lot better than last week anyhow. Last week was bitter cold. Then it got nice out for a few days, and then it snows and the wind blows 60 mile an hour, screws it all up.
Hey, we're getting close.
We're right there.
Yeah.
Well, the nice part of it is the snow's melting on the roads up here today. Streets are clean, roads are clean, so it's all good. That's what I love about March snows. They don't last long.
Yeah, they don't last long down here either. Kendall and the kids are always pissed. They want to move to a different state, and it sounds like everybody else kind of has the same psychotic weather we do. So I guess, where else are we going to go? We're kind of in the middle.
Florida, they got way more snow than what we did this year. So
yeah, I think they beat us too.
So where do we call home, Stu?
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Lincoln, okay.
Yeah, so we're kind of centralized. We run a lot in the Midwest. We run, down into Oklahoma, Kansas. We run up with you guys. That's Jackson, places like that. And, of course, over there to Knoxville and Stuart. And, so I don't know. It's kind of nice where we live. I guess most of the racetracks are probably max, 6 hours away from where we can normally run for good money. So,
yep.
That's awesome.
You got lots of options when you live right where you're at.
Yeah.
Stu, why don't you take us back way to the beginning, Stu? Tell us, how did you get started in racing?
So my dad had always worked on Jeff Lowry's sprint car, a local guy here from Lincoln, and I kind of started being his tire guy, and then I was the build guy, and I think at the time Dad was working with Ron Love with Easy Racing Chassis, which was a micro chassis company here locally back in the day, and we had started building a junior sprint, and pretty soon we had realized that that was going to take away from Dad and Jeff's success that they were having. So one night a sprint car showed up in my parents' house, and I think I started 14 years old, I think was when I started driving, and then we had to wait. We ran a couple shows, and then I had to wait because of the insurance and whatnot. Um, so then I think my first full season in a sprint car was 2003 with the out at Eagle, and then with the ESTS touring series, and we were able to get Rookie of the Year in that, and just kind of been, I don't know, going ever since.
So basically running 410s now, right? Or are you running some 305s yet too, or what are we all running
Yeah,
now?
we last year I got the opportunity to drive for Chris and Rick Bowers in the 410 a little bit more up there at Huset's. We know where you guys are from,
Yeah.
and I love Huset's, but I don't like that drive home on Monday, and then having to get up and go to work the next day at 6:30 or 7. So this year, I mean, our main focus, kind of over the course of my career, has always been 360s, and then we started hopping into the 305s and trying to fill in some dates. We weren't running the 360 stuff, and we were successful in that. So did some 410 stuff throughout my entire career or whatnot, and then we did some last year, like I said, and then this year mainly, we've went 3 in a row with the Nebraska 360 Sprint Series as a champion. So we're going to try and go for 4. She's going to allow me to try and go for 4 now. So we're
What?
going to do that, and then we're going to mix in the 305 stuff off and on, big paying shows, and hit and miss some weekly stuff just to make sure we're prepared when the big events come along, and then also in the meantime I'll help Shaylee and Chris if they need me to go with them somewhere and I'm not doing something, we'll go there. And then now we've got the kids racing too, so our plate is really full for this year. It's we've been building race cars all winter for Shaylee and for the kids and for me, and it's just been crazy. It really has. We had to move shops. We kind of joined shops with Chris and Shaylee, and we just ran out of room at ours. And renting one is an astronomical. And
Yep.
Chris was good enough to say, well, you're here like 75% of the time during the week anyways. Why don't we just put it all under one roof? So all the kids' stuff is out there, and all of our stuff's out there, and we got an arsenal of cars, and hopefully we're successful, both of us, and then the kids, it's the little guy, he's ready to go. Our almost teenage girl, she's kind of tossed up between volleyball and racing at the moment. So we hope she can hit the ground running, but we'll see.
Yeah. You covered a lot of stuff there that we need to get into just a little bit more. But the
Yeah,
first time
I tried to glass over it, but yeah, I mean, I've done the midget thing. We've been real successful in the sprint car here in the last 5 years, and even I guess back in the day, we were successful then too. So whatever you guys got, just sling the question.
All right. So first of all, for Facebook, we're talking with Stuart Snyder down in Lincoln, Nebraska, and you said 3-time 360 champion. What circuit is that, and what tracks do you all go to with that?
So that's the Malvern Bank Series. We do run some co-sanctioned events with the MSTS guys, but we were like lifelong win, I guess, last year. Tops quite a few of them was at Belleville High Banks down in Kansas, Stewart, Iowa, Norfolk quite a bit. We used to come up to Park Jefferson quite a bit. Harlan has been a really good track with us over there in Shelby County Speedway. We've got quite a few wins there. We actually, 2 years ago, we were chasing the championship. We won the 305 and the 360 all on the same day, which was really cool. And then I don't think we lost one more there the rest of the season, but McCool Junction, Lexington, Albion, Nebraska. We go to Knoxville, which I dislike every time I go because it's probably the toughest place to race at when you don't run there weekly. We used to joke back in the day they would come run the Nebraska Cup at Eagle, Nebraska, and they would struggle. But we would go over there and we would struggle.
Yep.
It's just, we just don't do it enough. And my father-in-law, and my brother-in-law, Kate Higday and Josh Higday, they're successful as hell over there. Well, they run there every week. So they try and help us, and it just, I don't know. I think my best run there was probably 2016 or 2017 the 360 Nationals. We timed in fourth quick and had a decent prelim night, and it ended up putting me in the B on Saturday, and that's about my hype video for Knoxville in my career.
So the Hig days, that's kind of like Kendall helping us get this
Yeah,
Facebook thing
I
going.
think her and Snow are
The
actually
effort is
messaging back
there,
and
but
forth.
it just doesn't help out that much, huh?
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
I don't
they're
even know
sending
Kendall. I don't know
comments back.
Kendall, but hey, I can pick on him. Hey, everybody tells you gotta know what my initials are. It's S.A. So, but anyway, I gotta jump back just a little bit. You said the kids are racing. What do you got the kids in? I'm assuming go-karts, but what classes are they running?
Well, so the last year and a half, Kinley had ran Junior 1 cage kart out at Eagle on Friday night. And then last year was Cruz's rookie season in his cage kart out there at Eagle. And we run a couple races down in Crete, but they didn't really like that place. I don't know. So it was a little bit bigger of a track, and probably they just weren't really ready for it yet. But then this year, we've sold all the cage kart stuff and probably made us less stressful, but probably not, I guess. I don't know. But now Cruz is going to be in a junior sprint, and Kinley's going to be in a 600 restrictor.
Okay.
So we're kind of making the move up a little bit quicker than what we thought we were going to, but we just really weren't. We weren't really learning much of what they needed to do or what they needed to learn in a race car with the cage car stuff. I don't want to teach them the whole bump and run thing, bashing into somebody or running them up the track to get under them to pass. And that seemed like that was really all the cage kart stuff and the go-kart stuff is. And that's really just going to cost me more money down the road. When Cruz or Kinley gets in a big car, that's just going to cost me more money in parts.
They're going to bump, and the bump's going to end well.
Yeah, and Cruz was really successful last year. He'd only ran 6 races. He won 2 and podiumed all the others. And Kinley, she had a couple podiums in there. So it just, I don't know. We'll just kind of see how this first part of the year goes and see how the rest of the summer, and then maybe make the trek down to the shootout. I don't know. I kind of think that's a little bit early in their career, but we'll just have to see what they're like behind the wheel by the end of the summer.
So how old are the kids?
Cruz will be 6 in April, and Kinley will be 12 in May.
Okay.
So they're she kind of got into it, obviously, because, we race, and Grandpa and Uncle race, and her dad was a really successful go-karter, and it was something that she wanted to try out and wanted to do. And we had a good support group behind us with Sean and Missy. So we just kind of said, all right, well, let's go get a cart and let's learn about this and let's see how it goes. And man, I was like a duck out of water because they don't have, no shocks, no nothing to help me try and figure it out. And we had Matt Gropp helping us trying to scale and learn. And I think we did pretty decent for not really knowing what the hell we were doing.
Yeah. We can relate to that, can't we, Buck?
Yeah, absolutely. Is there micro tracks down there also then?
Yeah, we've got one in Hastings, Nebraska, Cam Raceway. That's only about an hour and 10 minutes from our house. And then we've got Fairbury, Nebraska, runs them a couple times. I think when the midgets come through, they run the micro shows. There's a little touring series out of Kansas that comes up into Fairbury also. so that we can try and hit that. And then of course, we've got like Sweet Springs, and I think if I remember listening to one of your podcasts with Jody Rosenboom, that maybe they were working on something up that away. So that's a possibility too, but I'd probably have to completely retire. That's my seat time is, I'm seeing it get smaller and smaller, the window's closing.
more crew chief role is coming to play here, the way it
Yeah,
sounds.
the crew chief and the car builder role has definitely been at the start of the list this winter for sure. But that's okay. I'm getting up there in age, and we've had a successful career. If we stop now, I think I've been successful enough to maybe get my name on one of those cool plaques in some old building that nobody goes and looks at. So we've passed the torch to the kids.
I'll just let you know a little secret of mine. You were talking about the drive home from Huset's. Mine's probably a half-hour drive, probably 40 minutes in the old push truck because they don't go too fast. I just take 2 hours off every Monday, so I don't have to get up quite so early to go to work.
Yeah, that's last year. That was, I don't know. I think we ran 80% of that schedule up there in their car, and I think the earliest I made it home was 2:45. The latest I made it home one night was the next day at 8 a.m.
That's too bad. We don't do a real
We had
good
a
job
slight
of leaving on time
serpentine
either.
belt.
But time we do
Yeah,
our
we had a
after
little
program
roadside
thing,
assistance.
and then we talk to a few people, and then all of a sudden it's hour and a half after the races ended. We're still there.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Shaylee's all too eager to drive home either. They hang around there for quite a while.
Yeah, they do. There was, I think, every time we ran up there and they were there, we were waving and rolling out. Whether I was in the Jeep or whether I was in my rig, we were rolling, and they were still there. Chris has got a little bit easier of a Monday than me with him owning his own business. And he can do a little, well, he could probably go faster too. They had the idea to not use the big rig most of the trips up, so he can haul ass on the way home with the little trailer and his gray truck, so they can zip home pretty quick. But our max in our toter was 68, and I think I rode with Vanderheidens once in their motorhome, and I told him, I said, man, thanks for the ride, but I can't ever do that one again. I think we got home at like 4:45 because he goes 62 miles an hour in that big old motorhome. I'm like, well, okay, I'll just take a nap.
Yeah, that's one plus about a motorhome. You always take a nap in one of them.
Yeah, you can take a nap, but with me, I don't know what's wrong with me. I have to be the one driving, or I'm on edge.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think I said I was taking a nap, and I don't think I closed my eyes at all.
Because what is it? 3.5 hours to Lincoln?
Yeah, I think it's right at 3.5. Which, some of those nights, we got over pretty early and pretty quick, and I like to hang out with the fans and sign autographs and sell T-shirts and stuff like that. So I try not to be the guy that loads up right away or grabs my helmet bag and gets in the vehicle and drives home right away, because that isn't going to make, that isn't going to grow the fan sport any by doing stuff like that. So.
And it's tough when you travel, to make it to the track, but we appreciate
and a lot of those
up.
weekends too, we were on our third night already. We were running the 305 or the 360 somewhere Friday, Saturday, and then coming up and hitting the race, on Sunday with the 410, or we had been with the go-karts on a Friday night, and then the Saturday night deal somewhere else. And so we were already kind of burned out.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Everybody thinks this racing's glamorous.
They all
a
think
rugged
it's a
life,
glamorous lifestyle, like a rock star, and it ain't. You start burning both candles, burning the candle at both ends, and then you get all amped up, kind of when you get out of the car and you get changed and you feel like you're ready to drive 3.5 hours, and then you get to
hour down the road.
Yeah, you get to about Council Bluffs there, and then the windshield starts hitting you, and you're like, wow, I'm gonna try and make it,
Yeah, sometimes you got the candle burning on both ends, and somebody's got a lighter in the center of the candle, melting the wax out of the center yet for you.
Yeah, there was we had the one night where the toter home broke a serpentine belt, and one of Bickett's crew guys, Burton, had to come rescue us, and we used it was 8 o'clock when I got home, and I don't think we were much out of Sioux Falls where was that at? Like the Teacup, that truck stop at the Yankton exit, I think, off of
Okay.
29. And we sat there until 4:30. Finally, we were able to get a 532 wrench in between the alternator and the alternator bracket to get the belt space far enough to where it would make her home. And that was the day that we got home the next day at 8 a.m. And
Yeah.
I've got spare serpentine belts now and pulleys and everything.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. You live and learn.
We're not
once.
messing with that
Well,
anymore.
that's the
I think
problem.
I got it down about 20 minutes. I can have us back on the road now.
You leave after the races. There's nothing open.
Yeah, there was nothing, and there was so many of those 24-hour like truck stop repair on the road places that we called. None of them even answered the damn phone. And luckily, just being part of the racing community, I think Kendall had put it on our race page in the back of the toter. She was back there with the kids and put it on there. And within 20 minutes, my phone was ringing, and he's like, "I got it coming, sitting at my shop. I'll go steal the belt off of it, and I'll see you in an hour."
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
The racing family.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is. It's just a huge family, and we don't really notice it, or I guess we don't realize it until one of us is stranded or one of us gets hurt. That the whole community comes in,
Yep.
and I've been on that receiving end of that deal too. So it's a good community to be a part of.
Yeah, absolutely. I put a thing out there. My daughter down in Phoenix, not knowing if she could, trust a car dealership place to work on her car or not. And
Mm-hmm.
just reached out and said, "Does anybody know where to go?" And a guy said, "Well, I'll just stop over and take a look at it." He was a retired cop and,
Yeah.
just down there, living down there. And he still comes up to Knoxville all the time. But he went and looked at it, needed new brakes. He spent the whole day fixing her brakes for her. So
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Absolutely. And then he wouldn't take any money, so
Yeah.
it's just absolutely insane how awesome race fans are and race drivers. So
Yeah, it is. And it seems like even when you get a bad egg every once in a while that comes in, they're not here for very long.
No.
They pretty much get ran out to where they're gone. That was fun, but they're out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So talk a little bit more about you and Shaylee and Chris, is it? With the
Chris
shop,
Hernandez.
and how many cars are in there, and how many how many
Does
things?
Uh-huh.
it look like Keith Coons' shop when you watch them videos, or?
Yeah, it's pretty close. I think we've got the midget that we whipped down with the to the Chili Bowl last year with her, and then this year they had a fancy cruise that was basically kind of paid for from one of his suppliers. So we tore down the car and rebuilt a brand new one because the chassis wasn't legal. So it's sitting there, it's ready to go. They had to go do that cruise, and they were going to have to leave on the Sunday after the Chili Bowl, so 2 weeks away from their little guy. They didn't want to do that, which I mean, I understand. We've tried to do that too, and just being away from the kids that long isn't much fun. So,
Smokey
and then
Bacon
we've
would have
got
missed her,
she's got 2 305 cars ready to go. She's got 2 360 cars ready to go. And then on my side of the shop, Cruz's Junior Sprint, Kinley's Micro, the 600 we just got back from Powder Coat, so we're reassembling it. And then I've got, we built a brand new 305 car, and then our 360 car was only about a 2-year-old chassis, and we just put all new stuff under it. So there's, I don't know, what is that, 5, 3, and 2 littles and a midget? I mean, yeah, there's plenty. And then, of course, the kids, they got all their fun little toys to go out and ride, their 4-wheelers and everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a KKM stable, I guess. And then we had Gaina Excavating, one of our new sponsors, come on board last year, basically just to do the rock work for us, so we could park all the rigs next to the shop. And now they've become a supporter, so it was even better. So,
Well, since you brought up sponsors, why don't you go ahead and name them?
oh yeah. So on my end, Mr. Yards and More, Dennis and his wife Margie, they've been great to have on board the last, I don't know what, 5, 6 years. Stevenson Truck and RV Repair here locally. Gaina, like I said, has come on board. KED Trucking, Hosby Power, B&R Motorsports was a new one for this year. Speedway Racing Engines here locally, right out of Lincoln. Zach and his team do a hell of a good job on all of our motors, and now they're basically the same power plants that are in all of Shaley's cars too. So we got them. Greg Bolte with B&B Seamless Gutters, Smith Repair, Mac Tools with Ryan Carnes, Kaiser Wheels with Wade. I mean, Wade's been with me since I started kind of my own team up with a 410 back in 2015. Wade's always been supplying us with wheels. Simpson Racing Products saved my life more than probably once or twice. Bully Brand Gear, Harris Decals, Haichu Motorsports, which is he's been my crew chief off and on since 2010. And him and his mom have been a vital part of our operation over the last 3 years. And we've been able to win a lot of shows. Just me and him work really, really well together, kind of finishing each other's sentences when we get out of the car. So that's been, awesome to have. I think when he quits, I'll probably have to quit too, because I ain't going to be able to work with anybody else. Tailored Computers and Repair, Sosby Motorsports, JR1 Chassis, Smith Repair. I think Smith, he's been my longest one. He owned a friend of the family, Scott Smith, out of Davenport, Nebraska, has owned a little auto repair shop. And I think I went to him when I was 12 or 13 years old and asked him if he'd want to put his name on my car. And here we are, 23, 24 years later, he's still on the car. So we got him.
Would
And
have
then,
said no back in the day if he would have known it was going to be this long.
yeah. Had he known it was going to be this long of a run, he maybe would have opted out of that. And then Krug Realty, Jacob Krug, local go-kart Hall of Famer, went out, started selling houses, and he wanted to jump on board. And I think we have a lot of great supporters behind us, a lot of great people behind us, and the wife, she's probably the reason for it with the social media that she can do, our website, all of the apparel that we have, the hats and the shirts, and she's the one that's basically just heads all that department, all the updates and social media posts throughout the week. She's the one that does all that. I can't take none of the credit for that. Hell, I couldn't help you guys today when we were trying to get on the Facebook Live. So,
Well,
and she's still trying. And we're halfway into this deal. She's still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Snow made the statement that there was some icon that's normally there, but he can't find it either today or something.
Yeah, and that's what I was sitting next to her reading on the computer here, and that's what I seen he had said, and he can't find it, neither can we. So I guess, maybe we'll just have to do it again, and hopefully we've got a successful first part of the year. We got something to talk about come July.
There we go. That'd be
awesome.
I do have to make one statement here, one suggestion. Either the guy's been in victory lane a lot, that he remembers that many sponsors that good, or he's got a cheat sheet like we do. One or the other.
Yeah, well, she pulled it up, but she got her in there about halfway through. But no, and it's like you said, we've been successful.
Yep.
But I've also had the same partners with me for a long time.
Yeah, that helps. Well, you had one guy,
and that definitely helps. And I think that says something about how we try and run this. I mean, we're not a World of Outlaw team, but we're also not a weekend hobbyist either.
Yep.
I mean, we kind of have to run this like a business and do everything as professional as we can do it. And there's moments where she tells me to go inside the toter or go in the trailer, and if you're going to make a fool out of yourself when you get out of the car. And so I listen to her. I go in the trailer, and that's, you don't want to burn the bridges. You got to keep the guys around because it's not getting any cheaper. And without them, I'd be fishing, and I don't like fishing. It's too damn boring.
You're a good man for as much as you listen to your wife. I'm just saying. I do the same thing, but I'm just saying.
And Missy's not even here to hear this, but at least Kendall's listening.
Yeah. Well, they always have that saying, happy life, happy wife, or I don't know which way it goes.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, it just, and especially she knows how the ins and outs of this deal work. She grew up with it with her parents and with her brother racing and then her racing. So she was already I kind of lucked into this whole deal. She was already bred for it. So she don't really holler too much if I'm spending too much time at the shop. And I mean, we used to have it all at our house and it was a lot easier, but she just holler when dinner was ready. Well, now we've had to adjust to where we try and eat dinner before I have to go out there. And And it's only 10 minutes from our house, so it's not very far either. But, she kind of understands how much effort and work has to go into it.
Yep.
So that's, she understands it.
Well, if you ain't gonna put the time in, you're not gonna win either.
No, you're not winning, and you're not keeping your partners happy. And the only reason we're probably doing it anymore is because we're still winning.
Yep.
I don't think if I was struggling week in and week out, I wouldn't do it. I would just say, okay, well, it's time for the cards to go away.
Yep.
Let's shift the focus to the kids and see if we can't get them successful. And if they can't, well, then I guess we got to find a different hobby. I can't think of any other hobby that's as cool and has as much, support throughout it than motorsports does.
No. And
it seems like it's just getting bigger.
And with anything that's a hobby for you, if you're not having fun, why would you keep doing it?
Yeah, exactly. It's not fun to walk outside and hit your head on the side of a wall, so why do you keep doing it?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like we do that fairly often anyhow, but
yeah. We do have successful nights, and we do have some struggle bus nights too. And, and that's just the ups and downs of it,
That's racing.
At the end of the day, if you can have, or the end of the year, if you can have more successful runs than not, then, like, okay, you get kind of amped up come November or December to start rebuilding and tearing down and getting everything relettered and repowder coated. That's the other thing. I think we work harder in the winter than we do in the summertime as far as just rebuild and redecal and getting motors back and getting parts. And there's more, I think, man hours in the winter than there is in the summer. But either way, I say that, but I still probably spend 30 to 40 hours a week in the shop, but I don't know. We've been successful, so I think that's the way you got to do it.
Reorganized and put back together from the chaos through the summer.
Yeah, and it takes time to get the truck and trailer all cleaned back up and all loaded back up with parts and the maintenance done on that. That's why I wish Nebraska weather would figure out what it's going to do here. I think April 5th is our first race with the 305 either at Harlan or Norfolk, and I've got 2 rigs basically that we need to reload and clean and get all pristine looking before we start driving up and down the highway. And last weekend looked great, and then we have this lovely wind blizzard snowstorm come through, and I think right now it's 40 some degrees outside. So
you said your wife, is it Kendall?
Yeah.
I wrote it down.
Her brother raced. So what was her last name? Who's her brother?
Hig Day.
Oh, Hig
yeah,
Day.
her brother would be
Cade
Hig Day.
You said that. That's my bad.
Yep, and then the old man Josh, he's like a normal racer. You can't get away from it unless you completely hide. So he's still kind of racing off and on over the last few years, and they've he's been really successful at Knoxville, and Cade's coming into his own, and he's getting successful at Knoxville, and so like I said, she was bred into this thing just same way I was. And that little track with the nice cheesy fries y'all got rid of got us together, and here we are almost 10 years later.
Yeah. So what did Kendall run? If she's still there, she can answer the question. What was she racing? You said she raced some.
Yeah, she always she started off on this little like 50cc 4-wheeler at the Battle at the Barn.
Okay.
A big race, down there in the wintertime. And then she got in the micros with the 600s and was running, I think, A-class and outlaw stuff. And then along came me, and she hung the helmet up and said she had more fun basically running this deal and supporting me. And that's what she's done since that day. So I think she did drive a sprint car once or twice, but I don't know if the throttle went all the way down. I'll just pick on her a little bit, I always give her a little shit about it.
Well, I guarantee if I was behind the wheel, it wouldn't go all the way down.
Yeah. But no, she had a decent little stint career, and then along came me, and here we are.
Yeah, you and some kids.
And lots of little race cars now.
You mentioned, taking care of your social media and stuff like that. I give her a lot of credit for doing that, because I feel like that's huge for your sponsors. And
Yeah,
there's
it
so
is.
many race teams out there that don't hardly post anything, or they don't update their websites if they do have
Yeah.
websites. So the fact that she's doing all that, I wish a lot more race teams would do that.
Yeah. I think that's her. I mean, that's probably our biggest success, really, with the partners that we have, and even with the new ones. They've seen, like BR Motorsports, Blake Robertson. I think he maybe looked back and had seen all of our posts, and she tries to do a weekly sponsorship spotlight partner deal, where she highlights and then kind of puts it out there what they do and what they can do for a customer. She does that like every other week or every week during the summer. She always has the results posted, whether it's good or bad. She's like, well, it doesn't really matter if we sucked or not. We got to let people know.
Yeah.
So
She puts all that stuff out there. We have a website, but really, we kind of just would use it as a base for somebody to check out first. And then, like you said, with all the other social media, the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, I don't think we have a TikTok channel yet, which is good because I can't dance or sing. I don't feel like looking like an idiot on that. So I'm gonna estimate that one maybe for me, but we'll maybe let the kids have that. But so she tries to keep all that stuff as up to date, and like I said, with the weekly stuff with the partners and giving them more, because they're really, if you're not finishing on the front stretch, they're not getting a whole lot of airtime.
Yep.
Well, you got to make up for that, or you see that guy that gave you $25,000, or maybe he's not going to come back next year because he didn't see a large return or even any sort of return. And the car owners are long gone. Okay, there's still some out there, but the old school guys that just hired you for your raw talent, that's gone.
Yeah.
You're not seeing that anymore. You got to have some sort of funding behind you to basically kind of buy a ride. There's not really a whole lot of the old school car owners anymore out there. So when you're running your own team, because that's what you got to do, because you don't have the large amount of funding behind you, you've got to be able to promote the people that you have behind you.
Yeah, I got to throw this out there for a little bit. Between you and Bud talking so nice about Kendall and me being a smart aleck to Kendall, I'm starting to almost feel bad now. You guys talk so nice to her. And of course, maybe it's good if I pick on her a little bit. Then her head won't get so big. You guys have been so nice to her.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, like I said, she's my rock. She's the reason I keep doing it, and if I don't know, she probably couldn't get me to completely quit, but she could definitely put a hampering on it if she says you need to stop.
Yeah. Well, don't sound like you'll be stopping for a while completely just on account of the kids. You'll be busy for a few years
no,
to come
I had talked about retiring. I think it was like 2 years ago, and then I got a call to run a 410 at Huset's, and then we had the 360 success. We're trying to go for another championship, and then we were doing the 305 stuff, and then I think between me and the kids this year, we've got 80 some shows or 70 some shows or something. We just keep adding to it, and it's, I don't know. At some point, it might burn us out. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
cross that bridge when the time comes.
That's right.
Yeah, we've been able to win a lot of races, and we've been able to win a lot of championships, and I think that's just from the work put into the shop with the team, and then the people that are there every day and every night working on everything, getting it all ready, and that's what it takes to do the old championship deal. But I guess if I get real slow and I quit doing all of the above, then we're definitely gonna have to take a step back and focus completely on the kiddos. But
if you had to pick one track, what's your absolute favorite?
Well, I always say Belleville because it's where I grew up, and it's where I got to run my first like 360 events, my USAC midget races, so Belleville has always been at the top of that list. But if Huset's wasn't 3.5 hours away, it's a great place to race. And then, our local track here, Eagle Raceway, which is where I cut my teeth at. And then we've had a lot of success there. Those are probably the top three. Knoxville is a lovely racetrack.
Great facility.
That's about all I got.
Um,
I've never been successful there.
you're not the first person to say that about Knoxville, though.
No,
She's
it's
so
an awesome
technical or whatever.
facility, and John McCoy and his team do a great job with it. It's great atmosphere during nationals. That I've never been able to run the 410 nationals, but we normally try and I think that lands like the week right before is Belleville Nationals, so we usually would run that. And then a few times we've come over and ran Oski, and then stayed for a few nights just to take in nationals. That's a whole different deal to even go down and talk about. But that's about the highlights of me in Knoxville.
Do you, before we get to the rapid fire questions, do you have a race or two that stick out in your mind as your favorite ones for some reason?
I mean, last year when in Belleville, the July 4th race there, I can't remember the border battle or whatnot. That was probably one of the biggest wins of my career. Holding off, Jason Martin, a national tour champion, holding him off and being able to win. I think Shaylee was in the top 3 that night too. But just being able to win there, growing up there, and we've been so close so many times, and anything I've driven there, to finally check that one off the bucket list was definitely cool. Some of the races I'd like to get back, of course, running second at 305 Race Saver Nationals at Eagle 2 years ago. I think in 2020 we ran second at the Belleville 305 Nationals. But those win ones are always really cool. Last year I think was one of our more up and down years, still successful, of course, but just dumb things that we find when we get home that we drop the ball on or something. We got behind the points. We were losing. We were running second to points to Chase Porter in the championship chase, and then it come down to the last weekend. Have a fueling issue in the feature at Beatrice, burned myself up. Knew I had to get back in the car. Didn't really look too much over. They pushed me in the work area. Ended up finishing 11th. Do all the maintenance and tear down and rebuild to get ready to go to Deschler the very next night. Win there. I think that's probably another win that was way up there, just because of all the stuff we had to fight throughout the last 48 hours of that deal. And then that being one of the first places I ever got to run a sprint car. And then then the very next night I finished decently horrible at the Stuart Alley Memorial in Eagle, but we were able to finish in the same spot in the B feature 4th as Chase Porter. But I had took the lead the night before from winning at Deschler because we were only like a couple points out all year long. Being able to do that was definitely a highlight, of my career. We didn't give up on any of it. We really didn't. We just, okay, here we go. We got to do this, this, and this, and this is what we have to do to be able to lock this deal down.
I got to ask, you said Belleville was your home track, whatever. What do they actually call that thing? Is that a 3/4 mile or what? That thing seems huge.
Well, yeah, it actually measures 5/8 of a mile all the way around on the outside, up like a foot off the Armco, but it's considered a half mile. But I know when you run there in a midget, you're like maybe 12 inches off of that Armco. So I consider it to be the world's fastest half mile.
Yeah.
Because it is.
Yeah.
I mean, the Outlaws went there a couple of years ago, and they all said, we're not coming back. This is too fast.
Yeah.
And it's hard on equipment. It can be hard on drivers, of course.
Yep.
But it's always been, that was like when I was growing up as a little kid about, earlier than Cruz's age, that was our family vacation every summer, was to go down and go to the Midget Nationals, and we'd have a big family. Like my dad and my mom's family are from down around that area. We'd have our family reunions there in the park, and then of course after that was done, we'd all go to the races. So I mean, that was what we did every summer. And now I've got to meet great people and work with great people, and moved to California and lived in California for a while. Worked with a gentleman that Jerome Rodella, that I had met at Belleville, and worked for him every time he'd come back. Basically, just either scraping mud or cleaning the car or mounting tires. So it just always has been a special place.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. Well, we gotta keep going because we got another one after this. So let's get
Oh
to the
yeah,
rapid
yeah. You got
fire.
the fastest chicken, I think, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. So a
Heck yeah,
good combination tonight.
yeah.
So, but what's your favorite kind of ice cream?
Chocolate chip cookie dough.
Cat or a dog person?
Well, we have a dog. He's amazing. He goes with us to every race we go to. As soon as we have the toter in front of the house, he's sitting on the back deck. We did recently get a cat because our littles talked us into it, and he's okay.
What do you? I don't think you probably have any hobbies, but do you have any hobbies other than racing?
Well, me and the kids, we race RC cars in the wintertime.
Oh,
Other hobbies,
Fishing? Oh no, wait, fishing wasn't one.
yeah, I tried the fishing thing. I'm not a fan. And it's probably just because we don't have great farm ponds around here. Because I'm not going to be the guy that goes out and buys a fishing license. I want to go to a little bass pond and, a farm pond somewhere and just catch some bass. But that'd probably be a hobby, I guess, that we would do. I just am not a huge fan of it.
How about your favorite movie?
Days of Thunder, hands down. I hear they're trying to make another one, and I just wish they'd leave it alone
I heard
because it's
that
probably
too.
not going to be as good as the first one was.
It's tough to make the sequel as good.
Yeah,
Some of them get it pulled
and
off, but
yeah, I like those. Yeah, that's probably that favorite. My favorite one. We had it in the toter and the DVD, and it just basically every time we went up and down the highway, it'd turn itself on, and we'd just end up watching it. So.
do you prefer snow or rain?
Well, normally when it's raining, I can't race. And normally when it's snowing, we're not racing. So I'd go with snow. I used to be decent at snowboarding, but now I just bust my ass and break my neck again. So we probably shouldn't do that.
if you were going to be stranded on an island, what type of music would you have to have along to listen to?
I pretty much listen to everything, but Tyndall's kind of got me into this Bob Marley, reggae phase now. But, him or, Shinedown has like an acoustic version with just him and his drummer that I've kind of been kicking into the truck every time I get in it now.
Do you have a favorite place to go out to eat?
Oh, probably Mexican.
Okay.
I think I've maxed out the margaritas that they'll give me. So we just stick with one or two and then we come home and then I feel the next day like I got hit by a truck, but Mexican's pretty good.
Yeah.
So now I've seen some of them margaritas you can get at some of them restaurants. They look more like a mixing
gallon
bowl.
Yeah, I can't go that big. I just get me a Cadillac on the rocks and we go with that. And I don't even know, it's got, I don't know, 5 or 6 different things in it, but I know the lady well enough now where she'll shut me down at 4. I don't know what happened after 5, so we just stick to 4.
There you go.
Five goes bad.
And that was
okay.
a couple of years ago, so I must have done something at the Mexican joint close to our house here to where she knows better than to give me 5.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was a good time.
Someday we got to talk to Kendall and find out the truth on that story.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, nobody ended up in jail or hurt, or vehicles were all good the next day, so I know that was good. We didn't get in trouble. She just always kind of looks at me. She's like, no, sir, we're shutting you off.
Maybe that's some TikTok news. You're dancing, you were...
Yeah, maybe there's one out there of me doing that, and that's that night that it happened.
There you go.
We'll just leave that go at that. We'll go to the next one here. What's your favorite holiday?
Oh, July 4th used to be a great one, so I lit myself on fire. Now that one's not very cool, but July 4th was always good, blowing stuff up. Christmas is fun now, just with the kids.
Yeah.
It can be stressful, but because now we're struggling to what to get them because they all have race cars and they all have really cool stuff. So now it's tough, but Christmas is pretty cool with the kids.
Now you can buy them a right rear tire or chair offs or
yeah,
something.
it's a little more in my wheelhouse. So okay, I know this is a cool gift, but because everything else they pretty much already have between their grandparents. So
okay, now I can't let it go because you said it. Just the short version. How did you light yourself on fire?
Well, it was a Jack Dover's house, so we're gonna blame him too.
Well, that works.
But we were having a party for one of his Australian crew members years ago. One of their birthdays or something was close to that, and we were using diesel to get the fire going. Well, of course, Nebraska, it started sprinkling and raining. Well, to keep the fire going, I had the brilliant idea to go get the methanol jug, and that worked great for a couple hours. But then after Jack Daniels, which I'm not allowed to drink anymore, um,
There's a reoccurring
something
theme
happened to
here.
where it traced itself back to the jug, exploded the jug next to me, and the next thing I know, a real good friend of mine, Nate, and crew member at the time were carrying me into St. Elizabeth Burn Center with third-degree burns on my entire left arm and my left ankle.
Oh, damn.
Dang.
So, yeah, I've had a lot of fun. I've met a lot of cool people, and I've done some dumb shit along the way, and I've gotten hurt quite, real bad with you got to hang out in a helicopter for a little bit, but we're still going, we're still winning, we're still having fun, and I'm doing less dumb shit, I guess.
So what you're saying, that other story, though, so I figured it was Jack and Jack's fault then.
Yeah, Jack and Jack's fault.
Okay.
Probably more on the Jack Daniels side. No, Jack's a great friend of mine, and we've been hanging out for years, and I was just being an idiot one time, and the way
that
way I went.
happens.
Well,
I will say, if you do ever get burned, have them use pigskin because it scars less.
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah. For some reason, I don't know if it was just the thing that had come out at that time, but they wrapped my entire arm and my leg in pigskin, and I just would trim it when it would dry and kind of crack off. And I have way less scars on that arm than I do from last year's burn at Beatrice.
Huh. Interesting.
The other,
It's tougher.
I guess. But no, I would, and the pain was a lot less too. Like something with the pigskin took the temperature away from the burn.
Interesting.
Learning things again.
Yeah.
Every show, just about, we learn something.
Well,
Well, yeah, you gotta learn something, right?
yeah. It doesn't. We'll forget about it in 5 minutes. But
I'm getting there too.
what app on your phone do you use the most?
Oh, probably Facebook to make sure the wife did a social media post.
There you go.
No, probably that, or just the music stuff, or Google Maps because I get lost quite frequently the older that I get.
There you go.
Did you get a glare from her at all in that, or ain't she in the
Yeah.
room? Okay.
Yeah,
I was going to say,
she
if I
did.
would have said that, I would have got a glare from mine.
Yeah, she's in the office trying to get all these old T-shirts from last year sold, and I peeked in as soon as I said that, and she was glaring. So she's still listening.
That's all we can ask for.
Yep.
How many speeding tickets have you gotten driving around the country?
2 when I was 17 for 22 over,
No.
and I haven't gotten any since.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got told I was going to lose my license. When you lose your license, you can't drive a race car.
That's true.
So I don't know. And my dad and my mom had told me that after that weekend of getting 2 of them at 22, and that was enough for me.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, you got them both on the same weekend?
Well, and then when you drive a toter home 75% of the summer, that damn thing ain't going to speed anyway.
Yeah.
You're not getting
That's
too many
right.
speed tickets in that.
No.
Unless you forget to slow down coming into a town.
So
Yeah, I have been close up there coming to Brandon or coming to Houston,
Oh,
so
yeah.
where it goes from 80 to 65 or something like that. Like I've been close.
yeah. What's the fastest you've ever driven a car or been in the front seat going down the highway?
We actually did this right before the snow flew back here. We were moving the hot rods out of Chris and Shaylee's shop over into a smaller shop. And Chris has a Hennessy Mustang. I think it's like 2 or 3 years old. And of course he went and put the, badass tires on it, and it's got a bigger turbo in it or supercharger. And when I looked over, we were doing 185.
Holy,
That's moving.
that's.
And I said, well, does it go any faster? And he's like, yeah, but I ain't gonna. I was like, no, I'm with you. So then we took the corner into the shop, which is kind of neat out there. Our shop sits on the road that the brand new fire building is on. So we share the same driveway. So I guess if I'm on fire again, I don't have to go very far. They're only like 200 yards from our shop. So,
Oh.
and he took that corner going like 110, and that thing stuck like an Indy car. And I thought, man, that was kick ass. Okay, I'm ready to get out though,
Yeah.
because I'm not letting you go that fast. So I'm driving it.
It would have been better if you were driving. Absolutely. I was just saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I can't ride four-wheelers or motorcycles or anything with anybody else unless I'm driving it. It's just one of them, I guess, deals from racing over the, I'm in control of our destiny, and that's as fast as I've ever went with somebody else, and that thing scoots.
185. It ain't a record for the show, but it's right up there. Got to be in about the top 5, don't it, bud? Top
Yeah,
4.
I think we could probably beat it, but I think I might have to talk him into letting me drive it. I've moved it out of the shop is about as far as I've trusted myself with it. So
if I'll make a note, and then we'll ask Chris this summer up at Houston's if he'll let you drive that thing sometime and see what he says.
yeah, make a note and ask him, because I guarantee he's going to say hell no.
Big H.
Oh.
So, what's your favorite drink or go-to beverage?
Anything sugar free when it comes to pop. And if I'm drinking an adult beverage, it's just Crown on Ice.
Okay. If you had all the money in the world, is there a car, pickup, boat, anything you've ever dreamed of owning?
53-foot T&E with a long nose Pete, all white.
There you go.
That's
And
specific.
And we'd go racing with the kids or with me or whoever all summer long, and we'd probably have, another trailer and toter behind us with all the other stuff we needed.
You bet.
That would work.
That's awesome. Well,
I don't really like boats because I don't like water. I don't like the lake. When I was a kid, my mom screamed, "Don't go near the lake, you're going to drown." Well, I just don't like boats anymore either.
Took her to heart. You listen to Mom.
It's stuck.
Yeah. You just fly around dirt. Who cares about water?
Yeah, just fly around dirt. The hell with going on a boat and going 10 miles an hour. I don't know if she thought that one through.
Yeah.
She probably wish she went on the water.
Yeah, she wished she would have went with the water one and not the race and dirt track deal every single weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Stu, thanks a ton for being on. This has been a blast, and we really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me. Hopefully I can get up there and see you guys this summer. I think there's a couple shows we were talking about coming up and running with either car we've got, and hopefully I can finally knock that list off the bucket list for winning that too.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
and thank you, Kendall, for trying to help us early on in the show.
Oh, she's going to figure it out. I'm sure she'll be messaging you guys of how to do it when she does figure it out for sure.
All right. Sounds great. We appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, guys.
You bet.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The